In France 24's Catherine Norris Trent. Catherine, is this history in the making?
Well, it's certainly a momentous day here in the French Parliament. And that soundbite you just played from Marine Pen, the head of the National Rally, formerly the National Front, has sent even more shockwaves through this lower house of Parliament here in France. There'd already been quite a few moments of political drama. But that means there's a lot of soul-searching going on among left-leaning members of the ruling party and other people who consider themselves to be at the centre of French politics. Can they, in all conscience, vote on an immigration bill alongside Marine Le Pen and her party? So that is something which is up for fierce debate. There are various huddles going on around the antechambers of the lower house of French Parliament here. Lots of talks going on about just what the numbers are going to be when this comes for a vote inside the lower house later tonight. And it could be tight because we're expecting dozens of defections from Emmanuel Macron's ruling party, which doesn't have an overall majority here, but for this bill will have the support of not only the Conservatives but Marine Le Pen's far-right party. What effect that's going to have? Will it get through? I mean, there's a lot of parliamentary maths going on here at the moment. And as we speak, Emmanuel Macron is kind of holding crisis talks at the Élysée Palace. He's gathered party bigwigs around him at the Élysée to talk about how they can rally the troops. So this could be pretty tight tonight, and it could be a turning point in French politics because Le Pen's party is saying that they're not happy with the totality of this bill, but what they do like about it, they said it sets a precedent of national preference, of French citizens being given better treatment than foreign citizens who will, if this law goes through, have to wait longer to be able to claim some benefits. And they say that is a turning point.
Yeah, since 1986, when the far right returned to the house where you're standing, Catherine Norris Trent, there's always been what's you can loosely translate as a Republican firewall. People from all the other parties refusing to vote alongside the far right. This time, as you say, a lot of soul searching.
Absolutely. And, you know, things have changed since the 1980s here in France. Marina Pen has successfully led a detoxification effort, as it's called here in France, of her party. And they now have the second single biggest party group in the French lower house of Parliament, 88 seats. That was a shock itself when it was announced. But little by little, the political discourse here in France has been edging to the right. And this is something that left-leaning politicians here in France, left-wing politicians, have been denouncing, saying that the Republican values are under attack. And if you think back to the recent elections, every recent presidential election in past years, there's been this call for people to vote for Emmanuel Macron or François Hollande or Nicolas Sarkozy before them to block the far right from getting into power. So now people here in Parliament are saying, some of the left-wing MPs are saying, hang on, we asked people to vote for Emmanuel Macron to block the far right. If he's basically putting their ideas into practice, well, what was the point of that? Now, from their point of view, the Macron's party, Renaissance, they are absolutely adamant that this isn't a text which could come from the far right. They're saying this is about rewarding hard work, that it doesn't matter if you're a French citizen or not. Basically, that if you come to France and work, you'll be able to get those benefits sooner. But there is this thorny question of, has this gone too far to the right for some of Macron's own MPs to support?
And one final question on this, Catherine. If, as you say, since Emmanuel Macron's party is a cherry-picking of conservatives and former socialists, if those on the left of his party decide to break ranks, what happens then?
Well, that is really one of the big questions coming out of the vote tonight, because it looks like his party is fractured pretty much beyond repair. You know, he came to power with this slogan, we've been saying this, en même temps, at the same time. Cherry-picking from the left and from the right, trying to forge a centrist way through. Well, that looks to have been stretched to its very limit now. And if there are mass defections on the left of his party, does that Centrist Alliance exist anymore? Honestly, they're saying that the government are saying this is going to be a vote of conscience. No one will be penalised for voting against this text or abstaining if they're in the ruling party. But there's going to be a lot of fallout either way, if it's passed or if it's blocked. It's difficult to imagine the next 3.5 years going very smoothly with this ruling party, which doesn't have an overall majority here in the lower house of Parliament. They have big rifts at the moment, and that you can't imagine the next few years being harmonious for them.
Catherine Norris Trent, many thanks for that update from the National Assembly.